Please don't get excited. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, the regular wages, it looks like they jumped up 18%. So,
I added some night shift.
oh, you added more coverage.
To cover people, and I think I put it in the email.
What email? What email?
You ain't running away, girlfriend, you know, she's always.
Yeah.
Is there an email with the ambulance budget?
Maybe
I
I
didn't-
didn't,
I
maybe
didn't-
I didn't send it like I didn't the monthly report, it may be in my.
I didn't see it,
I did.
My
but
draft.
I could have missed it.
No, I probably left it in the draft, because Terry texted me this morning or emailed and said, I don't have your monthly report, I'm like, I sent that last week. It's in the draft. Sorry, Terry, my report, it was in the draft. But I think I put together an email that said why our, we just went up so much.
Oh, did you send it to me?
Maybe not, that's what I'm just looking at.
Oh, you got mine. CD. What's this? The Wi-Fi?
Now I don't have access to my emails only on one computer. But it's because I put night shift. With the stabilization grant, I put some people to be paid. That's the increase, Jeff.
The increase, two night people.
Yeah, for, one person, 2 nights a week.
Okay.
So that we have more. Because everybody else around us is paying anybody hourly at night shift.
Oh, really?
That's why we're not getting. So everybody around us is now getting paid hourly pay to be at their station at night.
Really?
Yep. We're the only ones that are not.
Your email said, I will go right up for that. But I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's in my email.
I can't hear Amy very well, and there's also some background noise or something. I don't know what that is.
We have a call on live.
Hey, John, I'm not usually one that you can't hear.
I know, but it's more the background noise.
Yeah, we're shutting the door.
So,
Yeah, there's a call.
oh, okay. So can someone just tell me, while we're waiting for Sue, what the rates per hour are on the 4 positions that are the paramedics? They're written down for the 22 and 23, but,
So up $1.
and that's the
That's
three,
what
huh?
So what I
the-
did is with the stabilization grant coming in, we had to use some of it for. So normally it would be 80 cents for the medic, 75 for the advanced, 67, and then 54. I just put one of them up $1, like we did last year.
So you didn't use the COLA?
Not for that piece. I did for the director, deputy director, assistant, and captain.
Oh, well, wasn't it our intent to use the COLA for everyone? Which would be
Yep.
more than, which would be, well, I don't know what it would be. So what
It
you're
would
saying
be
is,
2580 for paramedics instead of 26.
okay, so you used 26,
24,
24,
22,
21, and
22.
17.
22 and 18.
22 and 18, right. So I guess well, I don't want to start the meeting, I guess. So I'm assuming then, just to help me out here a little bit while we're waiting for Sue, that there's another reason it went up $43,000, because
Yes,
that doesn't come up anywhere near $43,000.
correct. The rest is that everywhere around us are getting paid hourly for night shift. So I put in a couple nights for if somebody was in-house to be paid if we didn't have availability for people to be at home. So if somebody's not around, on the people that we are, like, live in town,
Yeah,
I put in some money for them to be paid to be at the station.
so are you struggling with on-call?
We are for night shift, yes, because
Yeah.
everybody around us gets paid by hour to be at the station. So if you go to Thomaston or St. George or Warren or Waldoboro, they're paying all of their EMTs or advanced or medics hourly to be at the station.
So some of our guys that typically would be on call are going to work there, is that? at
Well, I mean, instead
Thomaston
of
or-
coming here for $65 a night, they're getting paid double that to go somewhere else. So yes,
Okay. So when I see the kid that lives in Lincolnville, can't remember his name.
Cameron,
Yeah, I see his car quite a bit late at night there. Is he
and
He
it's right
basically-
now shift, right?
Is he basically just on call there and he's there because he can't be on call from Lincolnville?
Correct.
Ah,
So if he actually worked in St. George or Thomaston or Stockton, he would be getting paid hourly.
and he wouldn't be, so he's, okay, so if he's gonna, yeah, if he's gonna come sleep somewhere, he's gonna come where he gets paid, not where.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So same with Becca, lives out of the area. So we have a lot of people that help cover when David and Ryan and our licensed providers that live in town are at another job or a full-time job. So for
Yeah.
them to make it fair,
Yeah. So,
And
and
that's why-
I assume now David and Ryan are, because of their job situations, they're not around on several nights.
or at least 2 nights a week to 3
Right.
nights a week.
Right,
Yeah,
like they used to be
So-
around, so,
right.
yeah. Okay, I get it.
So for us to keep the people, I think that that's a piece of that stabilization grant that we can kind of help with that piece.
So the stabilization is not factored in here as a revenue,
No,
but,
not yet.
but you're saying it perhaps could be?
Yes,
Okay. So in other words, that increase would be somewhat offset by whatever amount we
Right.
end up dedicating to that.
right. But we have to make sure we get it into our budget so it stays there in
Yeah,
the next few
I
years.
understand.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting 41,784,
Yeah,
32 in the first round. I finally got that total number, so if I
Yeah.
didn't send it to you.
So sorry,
that's what
I
it
wrote
is.
it down the wrong day.
Oh, that's okay.
Betty.
And the first round is when?
We should have it in the next month
Okay.
or so.
And that's 32 even
41,784.
is first round.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we can apply for the second round.
Oh, 32 is for the second.
It's about probably that-ish. They'll be doing a formula that, actually they're fixing the formula they had, so it may be more. I complained that there's some of the services in what they should have. So now I'm on the board of fixing the formula.
Oh,
Yay, me.
yay, yay.
If it gets us more money, I'll pick it up. What's another board?
So I got to catch you up.
Yes.
When you look at the ambulances, the salary and stipends went up 3.2%,
Okay.
but the wages went up significantly more than that. And so Amy was explaining that she took the hourly rate and rounded it up to a whole dollar amount. And so
Oh,
it would have been 25.80 and she made it 26.
okay.
Okay, but also she added about 2 nights a week. Pay for somebody to be here at night. An hourly pay, because everybody else is doing it that way, and we're the only ones that aren't. So for those who are not local, that have to physically come here because they live in Lincolnville or wherever they live, St. George, then we pay them an hour. She's gonna start paying them an hourly rate.
Okay.
So that went up, wages line went up 18%. But on the other side of it, she got the stabilization grant, which has already paid us over $41,000, $41,784. So when we get to the bottom line, her
Right.
total ambulance is significantly up. But I guess my real question is, how are we gonna show that in the budget? So I
Well,
guess we would show that
do
as
we
a
already
revenue.
have, did I hear we already
No,
have the cash?
No, it's not in.
Oh, it isn't?
No, everything's in for it. It's been approved, so
Okay.
we just have to, they'll be
Okay.
cutting a check within the next couple months.
Okay, so
So
we're gonna
probably-
get it, before this fiscal year starts, the fiscal year that we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah,
So
Correct.
why can't we just carry it forward for that purpose?
You
As
can.
a,
you,
as a
you can
revenue,
definitely do that.
as a revenue.
And so our intent right now is that all of that will go towards offsetting this, or was there something else that you?
I pretty much had put in for it to help with night shift pay and our increase of wages to be competitive with around us.
So,
And that's how I wrote it.
and that will be good for the first year.
Yeah.
And possibly the second year, but after that, it'll end up being part of our basic, right?
Yeah,
So it will end up being a cost that carries forward.
How much was the amount for?
sorry, $41,784.32 is the first.
So you forgot to say it there.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So,
That would be the cents.
so I thought we were thinking about, I don't know, there's something about building in this increase and then completely offsetting it that bothers me a little bit, because I think we're sort of just punting a little. I mean, if this is something we need to do, maybe we should ease into it and, and budget for half of it or something. Cause we were also gonna use some of this money for the capital reserve for a new
Reserve.
ambulance, I thought. We had talked about, but I don't know, there's
10,000.
something that bothers me of building in an ongoing cost. And then kind of, for lack of a
So-
better word, not really taking it on for a year. So I don't know.
I guess I would do half of it, like half of it with a stabilization grant and then put some of that money to capital reserve for our ambulance. I mean, and then you can always keep the other quarter, like do quarter of it, and then the other quarter of it, if it goes over, like say, you have extra money in case we need something for the monitor breaks, or you know what I mean, something like that. So we just have to show the grant what we're using it for, and it has to be all dedicated to the ambulance.
Right.
So if we say, hey, half of this first year is gonna go to help paying night shift, and then the next year will be help. You know what I mean? Like that way it's a process of we are working towards stabilizing people and paying them for their hourly of being here.
I guess the other reason I say that is I think at town meeting, I mean, I hate to say this, but people need to understand what we're up against. And if we don't have that conversation with people, because I mean, certainly everyone I know expects when they call 911 for an ambulance, that one's going to show up. So, I think, I think it's important that the public understand, especially the town meeting attendees, understand that, hey, this is the reality we're living in here. So, but we don't need to talk about the revenue at this point anyways, do we? Or, I mean, we do, but we don't have to finalize that, but
Yeah, I just want to have it in my mind, because
yeah,
we're showing a pretty significant increase in the budget for the ambulance. And I just want to have in my mind how we're going to pay for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether it's gonna be from taxes and we bite the bullet, or if it's gonna be from some other source.
Well, that's why I thought
Yeah.
maybe we could ease into it and do half of it.
half through the stabilization and half through the,
Yeah,
Taxes, I don't know. That's just a thought. I mean, I'm not wedded to that, but,
yeah, and.
but
yeah,
at least people, I don't know. I said what I needed to say.
Yeah. The other question I've got is the rounding up to it up to the next dollar. Is that needed because of the competition around us? Or is that just the convenience? Could we revert back to the 3.2?
I mean, you could revert back to 3.2. What around us and in the islands, that's everybody kind of went up $1 because of the stabilization grant instead of just the 3.2.
Oh, see, that's the other thing too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's everybody's getting it, and some people are getting a lot more than what we're getting.
Yeah,
So I know there's a couple services that went up a couple bucks, but the biggest thing is they got to keep that next year.
Right.
In their budget.
Right.
And we don't, like, this is 20 cents compared to $2.
Right.
So I mean, at least it's a little bit more than the 3.2, but it's not like $2 more that we're gonna have to put in our budget next year.
Right.
I would rather see someone get paid at nighttime and take the lesser money, you know what I mean? Like, not say, hey, let's go up $2 to stay with everybody else, let's go up that little bit and then pay some people at night to make sure that we have coverage at night. Because we do, I mean, we only have a certain amount of people in town. And as much as we do classes and as we get more people, not everybody lives in this area. So we've got to kind of attract some people from outside.
I just have one question, and perhaps it's a question David can answer better than you, Amy. Is this gonna cause any hate and discontent with fire department employees that aren't on the ambulance? Or I know how people kibitz and talk, and I'm throwing that out there. Or I guess with any employees, Terry, maybe you can talk about that, but.
I don't know if the Hannah know what the ambulance crew makes, Does it bother you, Hannah? Hannah just got a big raise. She doesn't.
Well, I guess I'm more thinking of the fire department, but.
So with the fire department, we've never been with the ambulance for hourly wages. We've always been way under. And it hasn't been a problem yet, so.
Well, I know, but we're talking about a COLA increase here and one classification getting more than another.
Oh,
I know it's not much, but
yeah,
I'm just asking the question because I don't want, I don't want to hear a month from now that, that it caused you problems, David. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes to the fire department one, I mean, we're probably about the same with 20 cents lower from an equal dollar. Maybe we can move it up then too. It'll help them out. But no, I don't.
Okay, you don't anticipate it's gonna cause you a bunch of headaches?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And since we're gonna end up talking about it at the town meeting and with the budget committee, the stabilization grant, that's easy to designate into this area and show why the difference is. So I think I'm comfortable with doing it this way. I still need to.
What I'll do is when I get home, I'll send the sheet that I made of like everything.
Yeah.
So that the budget committee has it too. Like, this is why, like I did last year and just broke it all down so that they could look at it before we got there. Sorry, I thought I sent them all out at once and they probably are sitting in my draft, like
A lot of my stuff ends up going.
in the draft. It's like, oh, I'm almost there. Terry sent me that this morning. I was like, I sent it a week ago. No, I didn't.
So is there anything else?
I don't think there's any other big. You wanna go down through it?
benefits, it looks, I mean, that comes
Yeah.
right along with it, so that,
The FICA.
and that went up with the wages
Yep.
and salary, so contract services looks like that.
Can
went
we
down.
just jump back to benefits? So the 752, I assume that's to comply with the new law regarding Family Medical Leave Act?
Yeah,
That's probably a Terry question.
Yes,
Okay, so that's a half of 1% for the town is that right? Or,
it's half a percent that the town pays and the employee pays the other half.
okay,
It's 1%, but it doesn't start until January of next year, so it will
2025.
only affect half the budget.
okay, so that was gonna be my next question, because, okay, that makes sense. I think.
And it looks like contract services actually went down. I was just looking to see where the,
some of it was the assistant charges, so we have a couple medics in town now, so we're not paying St. George as much. How's that?
cool.
And ALS providers, so some of that went down there. And then we had like the computer fax in there and stuff like that that we got this year, so. Other than that, I moved the training instructor money that was up in there just to education and training, because we didn't use it, we haven't used it, we kind of take it out of education and training, so. Those are the differences up there.
Hey, Terry, what date are the actuals through? Is that through December?
February,
Through February? Okay,
right now, or was it January?
January.
February.
February?
So it's
Yours is
current.
probably January.
Mine was January,
Yeah, you have an old one.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
January.
So they're
End
all
of January.
January or just,
No, they're February. I sent Amy hers when we only had January, and that's the numbers she has for her actuals. Cause I haven't sent her an updated one.
well, on the sheet that I have in front of me that you sent a week or so, which, is it February or January?
February.
Through February. Thank you.
Through current?
No, you're right, through January, this is only February.
I was confused.
That's why we were all.
I'm like, wait a minute. March already, David.
Mine's December.
Yeah, so.
All right,
So
so so we're through January. I was thinking after that, okay. All right,
Well, we have February in ours, Hannah and I, but
So we have,
We're special.
we have money to go get that. We've had.
Insurance.
Go get it.
Insurance went
Now,
up, what drove that to? What's the big driver there? Or did we just put an amount in?
Insurance.
the first 6 months are what the bill is, and then the second 6 months, like we get the 70% increase.
Terry, I can't hear you.
Jeff asked about the insurance.
Yeah, I heard that.
The first 6 months are the actual bill numbers. And the second 6 months, because we don't have a bill, they estimated 7% increase.
Yes.
And I assume the workers' comp went up in relation to and the unemployment in relation to the increase in the wages.
Yes,
Was it increase in wages? I thought it was how many people you had.
Isn't it based on expenditures
yes,
when they come do that audit at the end of the year?
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wages, okay, gotcha.
Medical supplies went down, but offset in pharmacy, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And your pharmacy one go up? Only?
No, mine went down.
No, it
It
went down,
down.
no,
Okay.
I'm just,
I thought you meant it was, I gotcha.
yeah, I missed there's pharmacy on here twice, that's. Read into it. So,
Oh,
I
I
mean, that,
see, yeah. That's
so it's-
weird.
yeah,
Mine doesn't have that. Two pharmacies?
Yeah,
I have two farms.
Oh,
Right.
six 57 and 658.
I only have one.
Oh, that's probably my typo.
We don't need that many drugs.
One has nothing in it, the other one has 1,000 in it.
Right,
so,
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
So
I'll just
the
get rid of
1,000 should be up.
yeah, I'll get rid of that line.
Oh, it's gonna shift all of the line.
I know.
Only the ones out.
And I have to say that this is spreadsheet's losing its integrity. We need a new one next year.
Yeah,
It's
that's
been,
Well-
been a long time.
I think our chart of accounts is losing its integrity, and I was gonna, once the change was made with Hannah and you, I think we need to look at that, because people have just plugged in things over the years, that really shouldn't be. I mean, we had a chart and it's supposed to fit somewhere in that chart, and it's messed it up. But anyways, that's a conversation for another day. But I
Okay, so
agree
it's
with you.
still, yeah, it's a 16% increase. Did anybody have any other specific questions? Maybe before we cut this line?
So are we leaning towards using some of the stabilization for this, and not all of it, or what are we leaning toward?
I'm personally leaning for using about half of it towards this.
Okay, I am too.
So about 20,000.
Yeah,
With the balance going into for the capital reserve for the ambulance?
or maybe, that'd only be 10,000,
15,
15,
no, 21.
21.
21,784.32 would be left if you did 20,000 for wages and stuff.
So I,
Didn't you say, Amy, there was a limit though on how much we could use for capital reserve?
25,000.
Okay, so we're under that limit.
Mm-hmm.
and then the next tranche that comes in,
We
we
can,
can use for,
whether, like some equipment and stuff like that, yep.
yeah, okay.
And maybe some, like, keeping some of that stabilization for the next
For the
year,
next
just
year.
making sure that there's some offset,
To mitigate next year's as well.
yeah.
Okay.
Can I
I
just
think
ask
that would
one
be,
more?
that would be the
one more.
plan.
So the billing contract is the same as it was 3 years ago. Is that,
It's an estimate.
yeah, and it looks based on the actuals, it's realistic. Unless there's some timing issue there, Terry, that I'm unaware of. Are we pretty
No.
much right up to date with, I mean, do we pay them in sort of a current mode?
Yeah, we pay a monthly.
Okay, and it's pretty much up to date then.
1, 2,
Yeah, so it might be a little light, I mean, a little,
7 payments. Yep.
you know,
No, it should be fine, right?
But the increase,
and then 5 left,
Yeah,
yeah, May 7 through
yeah, but
January.
even if we'd made 6, it would only be 6,200,
Right,
and we made 7, so.
hopefully will be coming to increase our billables also. Different ALS, BLS, that's coming up for the new budget too, so
Yeah.
I'll be putting that together. Because in legislation, it's into do 110% of Medicare reimbursement, so we may be getting more money back, so,
that's good.
yeah, so that's.
And the ambulance reserve. What do we figure out, 20?
21,784.32
Okay.
would be from stabilization.
And
We should have
21,784.32,
21,004.
784.32.
84,
Yeah, right to the
Can some-
penny.
Can someone tell me what line we're on?
1170. Oh, no, that's equipment reserve, what one, John?
What is it?
1169.
1169.
Equipment uh, and then the ambulance.
Would we use 21,784?
Yep, 32.
I guess I didn't,
Cents.
I guess when I printed this, I didn't print it all off. So what is, can someone just tell me? I know it's only one number. Can someone tell me what's in there?
We have two, right? We have ambulance and then we have equipment. Usually we put what, 5,000 in equipment,
Yeah,
Well,
just for a monitor. Yeah,
is that
we
what's
usually
on the
put-
sheet?
yep.
I didn't have anything on the sheet, because they didn't give me any numbers.
I would just leave them the same at this point. Because we have it at average that the Azole was 40-something thousand and we need to replace it every 10 years, so. And then any other big equipment would be our stretcher, which we just got, but it's on the off cycle of our Azole. So,
So what are the two numbers, not counting the stabilization?
Right now, there's 0 in ambulance.
I know,
reserve.
but if we keep the
And-
same,
so that was my question, I don't know,
I don't think we haven't. been
because we're
putting-
paying
Fire
the
department.
fire department for that, so my question, right?
Last
So-
year we weren't though. I
We
don't
weren't
think
last year.
Last year, right?
Yeah.
So a new truck is $400,000. I know, cause I'm buying one for Stockton this year. So we need one every 10 to 12 years here is what we've been,
When we've gone over that, we've put more money into it.
yeah,
It's
so
worth usually.
the rotation is usually every 10 years. I know that we're off that because we had to borrow money. So we're 2019.
Yeah, that's right,
So we're way off that cycle because of, we were paying back.
right.
So we were putting.
We were putting 25,000 in before we borrowed. I think we had, so I wanted to have the discussion before we actually put a number in of how much the truck is going to cost. So if it's
So when-
$40,000 in 10
So you-
years, you're putting $40,000 a year in.
so you're saying you're thinking 29?
I would say we're
2020
putting, yeah,
2029.
2029. Yeah,
All right, and that's, and how much do we have in there now?
0. It's gone.
No, we don't have, okay, so we were paying back the loan, we zeroed it out.
Right,
Wow,
so,
See, that means we'd have to do it in 5 years. That's
or
80,000.
borrow again.
right.
Yeah,
So my thing that I would put 40 in. And you put some of the stabilization of this one in. You know what I
That-
mean?
That'd give
So
us
that
six,
would get us
about
60,
60.
and then if we use 20 in the next year for stabilization, I mean, in the next stabilization one, would almost have 80 in all in the first year. The other thing we can look at, and I did look at it, is remounting the box to it. So they're gonna give me some figures on that, so we would use and redo our box. Cause it's usually in a good spot, especially a rotation for PL Custom, and you're only buying the chassis piece. So, which would cut your cost a lot, especially where we don't have any money put away right now, and we've only got 6 years to go. So we can look at that as like, okay, we get 80 in this year, if we can start, building that. And then take a look at it next year and say, how much is this gonna cost for a chassis? Cause that's what usually fails. Our box, we can usually reuse another year. It can be remounted. And this is a good box, so they would re-secure the box, they would reseal the box, and they would put it on a new chassis.
So
Which would be about 200 and something
if they
thousand.
do that, what do we do while they're doing that?
They would give us a loaner. TL Custom gives us a loaner during the process. So they could order the chassis and then take our ambulance and remount it. I mean, that may be what we look at, so that we're back on track of the 10-year piece. I would say that would probably be a good look. So I have them looking at the cost of that would be, and he's like, it'd be about 250 compared to 400 to 450. So we could probably be close to that without borrowing in the next
Well,
6 years.
I suggest we pencil in the 40 for now.
Yeah,
40 plus the 21, right?
yeah.
Well, yeah, plus the 21 from the stable, but,
Yeah,
and that, I mean, we gotta go to the budget committee and this is, we're a long way, we're a long way from home, as they say.
Yeah.
that's right.
So you're just putting 40 in the square, but you
No, actually putting in,
put the whole.
61, 7, 84, 32.
Why are they calling me? Avery, they're gonna transport.
They didn't or did?
They are, they're gonna transport. We didn't know if he needed an advanced medic.
From there.
Like, I'm not there.
So the total will be 761, 784, or you're just gonna do,
61, 7, 8.
784, 32.
okay.
Just kidding. Spread some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a candy bar with that. Oh wait, you can't buy one with that.
Okay. Got anything else?
No.
Anybody else have anything else for the ambulance story? Okay, we didn't quite get you.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
It's fine. So I will write out the worksheet like I did last year
That- yeah.
and ship it in. I put it in an email. I'll do the worksheet and send it to you.
Good. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Any
Amy.
questions for David?
What?
Any questions for David?
Yeah.
He's like, my God. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me, David?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Do they need me?
I mean, you can call them if you want,
All
but
right.
150 over 90. Tacky at like 110. EQH. Presenting fine, competent.
No.
That range, yeah. If you feel comfortable, just take it. It's nothing.
But I'll go check in
Yeah.
on my
I
way.
think they're leaving right now, heading up.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you. See you later.
Hey, Amy, thank you.
Yep, you do.
Oh, I know, they're gonna beat me up.
And, and we don't need it now, but we are gonna want a list of, grants that you traditionally put in for and ones that you have already put in for. We're gonna try to compile a list of all the grants the town is traditionally works on and is currently working on. More for cross flow between
To make
the,
sure we're fine.
yeah, through the same one.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. And David, you used 3.2% on all of yours.
Yeah, as long as I did the math correctly.
You're good.
I did, yes. That's why, oh no, actually, I didn't put the hourly wages in there. We usually don't, but. All mine are, they have like, the chief's at 17.54 an hour. Captain's at 17.02, that, so there's change at the end. So, and you can see we're way under the ambulance hourly rate.
So, if I heard right, the top, the salaries and stipends are just the only change is the 3.2.
Yes,
And then down
Yeah.
below, we did the same thing. It's based on the same hour assumptions and everything.
yes, same as last year. So all I did was took last year's and upped it by the 3.2 under the wages.
That
I
doesn't
believe.
seem to check out though.
No,
If you have-
nice.
You had 31,000.
The
Uh,
fires went up more.
yes, they
Huh?
did.
What
Um,
happened?
the fires we increased,
The hours.
well, the wage,
Yes.
yes.
The
Well, I
wage,
mean,
yeah.
but your assumption on the hours, what's driving that in addition to the COLA?
Yes, cause you can see we're already at, well, mine, we're back in December, so we have 22 calls in January. That's not even a part of that almost $10,000 that we paid out for fires. And we only budgeted 6637 last year.
Yeah. So Terry, the number that I have is through January, the 9,963.
No, that's December 31st, as far as I know, on mine.
But because they haven't been paid, they're paid quarterly, they haven't been paid.
Ah, right. It's always a wrinkle.
Yes.
Okay, so that, all right. Well, and yeah, I was surprised. I forgot you guys, I thought you were gonna be over by now.
Yeah.
I forgot about the quarterly.
We're already over before this quarter even started.
Well, I meant the whole thing.
Oh, the whole, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so you made up for it, it looks like in maintenance.
We did, and I can explain that a little bit.
Okay.
Having some of the fire guys on the ambulance here during per diem, we were able to do a bunch of the maintenance stuff during the day and not at night. So it saved us quite a bit of money in that line item.
That's good.
But that's not gonna be that way
Oh,
all the time. Because one of the guys is leaving here pretty soon for good, and
He's the good one.
yeah, and so I'm not gonna be able to.
Not gonna be able to.
So I mean, we could, where we've made up so much in the maintenance, that, once we get down to the bottom of this, we can cut that fire one back a ways if we need to. I put that in there as a buffer in case we need to.
and Terry, minor question, but under 20, FY 22-23, July 22-2, see that column?
Yep, oh,
Under maintenance, it says 119.84. Is that a typo or something?
it's just not,
Aligned.
formatted, so it's 119.84. That was when they first started, I think. Let me get back there.
All right, just
Yeah. It
doesn't really matter. It looks funny.
Actually is 119.
That's what I have in the.
Or 120.
Yeah.
It just looks odd, that's all.
Yeah,
And the less questions people ask at the budget committee, the better I like it. No, only kidding.
Me too.
so,
It seems weird that it's so low, but I'll double check it.
yeah, and for the, what was approved, there's nothing in there, so there.
Yeah,
That's when they made the switch that they
Oh,
used to have training and fire and then.
and you added maintenance.
And then maintenance
What
was added.
yes, maintenance used to be under fires. So when my first year, last year of doing the budget, I had no way to figure out how much we paid in maintenance, how much we paid in fires, and how much we paid in training, because
Yeah.
two of those were together. So we split it last year, and now we're seeing that what everything's cost us.
yeah, so it might be $120, depending on when you started it.
Yeah, well, I highlighted it, so I'll go back and look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I assume when you say fires, you're talking about response to
That strictly calls.
calls.
That line,
Okay,
that light
so-
item is all calls.
okay, so it might not
Maintenance.
necessarily be a fire.
Well,
Per
no,
se.
it could be a car accident, it could be anything
Right.
we are toned for.
Okay,
And then maintenance is our truck check nights that we have to do monthly, so one Monday night a month is under the maintenance.
Contract services, that one was,
It's, so one main thing that went up there was the, pump test and maintenance. Each truck, the three main pieces of apparatus were $5,800 a piece this year. So we went well over that, $10,000. So I bumped that up because we still have the old tanker. We're still gonna have the old tanker into a portion of this new budget. And depending on when the new ones come, we're gonna have to have that pump tested again. So that could be another $5,000, that the new truck wouldn't have to if it came early enough, but it's not looking that way. So it's kind of a rate in the changeover of getting the new trucks that will already be pump tested for that year and having to pump test this old one again. So it's,
and those are on a 12-month.
Yep. Yep.
So you couldn't go 13 or 14.
Yeah, no, because once that's out, we
Yeah,
shouldn't be having people in the building with it pumping.
all right. Auto detailing,
So that would be, last year we had engine 53 ceramic coated. And this year I was gonna put in for engine 51 to be ceramic coated. That would take care of our older trucks. Cause the two new ones will be hopefully have some type of stuff on them that coming new.
What did you call it, David?
Ceramic coating. And the guy he did an amazing job on engine 53.
That's actually probably a better term to put in under the account name.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with like cleaning the inside.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
strictly
that's-
the paint.
When you look
Yeah.
at it, you think, geez, like,
I'll change it to ceramic coating.
The fuel and the Verizon, the fuel I just left the same. Verizon, I don't even know what we pay for that, so I just put that same number in.
Terry, do we even have that anymore?
Have what?
Verizon?
Yeah, it's your,
Just all the tablets.
the tablets, the fire
Yep.
trucks have. and the
Oh, it's not,
ambulances have.
okay, it's not the, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the chief used to have a phone and internet and stuff, and when I took over, I didn't take that on. We dropped it.
equipment went up quite a bit.
Yes, and I'll explain that.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So the air pad, no, let's see what the first one is here. The masks. The masks are now 330 a piece. That's why that line went up. So they've come up in price since last year's budget. Same with the air bottles. Oh no, air bottles are the same. Fire gear, air packs. Those are now 6,615 a piece. So that's why that number for 2 air packs went up. Hand tools, the year, not this last budget, but the one before that, we had $5,000 in there for hand tools and mounts and stuff. And that was for the new trucks when they come, in case, to mount tools in the new trucks and stuff. So last year we just dropped it down to 1,000 because we didn't have the trucks yet. But now it's looking like we're gonna have it in this 24-25 budget. So I threw it back up to the 5,000 to cover us to be able to mount all of our equipment in it when it comes. So that's why that went back to 5,000 again. And then you'll see down at the bottom, the new large diameter hose, which is our supply hose. So that $10,000, that's to do 1,000 feet of hose. So that replaces one truck worth of hose. We haven't purchased hose in a lot of years, long time. And with the hose testing every year, we're losing 3, 4, 5, 600 feet every year. We haven't been repurchasing any. So now we're down to whatever we have on the trucks is what we have. We have no spare at all. So we're at a pretty hard place right now for our supply hose. And all the towns around us are going to 5-inch hose. We have 4-inch right now. So that's why it says 5-inch LDH. So
So do you need to use adapters or? how do you-
yes, we already have adapters because where we go to these other towns,
So you have,
yeah, they have 5-inch, we have 4-inch, so we need to adapt to theirs. So we'll still be fine with one truck being 5-inch and our other two being 4.
so this 10,000 is for one truck.
1,000 feet of hose. Yeah, 10 lengths, it's $1,000 for 100 feet.
Do the new trucks come with hose?
No, we have to take all that stuff off our old ones.
Yeah, that's what I.
So by
figured.
purchasing this would be the new truck would have brand new hose on it with purchasing this, but that's why that line went up tremendously.
Can I ask, I don't see any expenditures yet under the SCBA and the SCBA mask. Are you still planning for this year? Are you? There isn't
Yes.
a lot, there's not a lot budgeted there, but are you planning on using that 1,200 still?
1,200 for which one?
Well,
SCBA mass.
The mass?
the-
Yes.
the other one has 0, so. So you are,
That's-
okay,
So for the mask, the bottles and the air packs, that's gonna be spent within this next month. Cause those
Okay.
prices that I just, well, I didn't give you the price, but
Alright.
the new prices are going in effect on April 1st.
okay, well, that was gonna be my next question on the air pack, so, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
And turnout gear and PPE, you're gonna, same thing on those,
Yes.
you're gonna
Yep.
purchase them before they go up.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
aren't a problem to go up.
Did we ever get a second thermal imaging camera?
Yes. I
Okay,
believe it's through a grant though.
yeah, I think it was too,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, this is a 22% increase.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty good story on the ambulance. And to be frank, the town doesn't usually jump on the ambulance. But they do jump on the fire department, and we don't have a good story on this,
Nope.
other than the new truck, I guess.
Well, the hose, I think we do.
Yeah,
I'm going back to the wages there. I'm just wondering if this year, I know you guys have been super busy this year. It seems like every time you turn around, but I'm wondering if this year's just been an anomaly. Yeah, I
Well-
haven't looked at the past years, and I don't know if it's been a trend or,
I have it right here, you guys want it. Right here. The last year we totaled 114 calls for the fire department. Last year at from January 1st to January 31st, we had 6 calls. Already this year, we're at 22 calls, so we're up quite high again, so it's not, and you'll see, well, I can't send this to Georgia, so, or wherever you are, but. Yes, they are trending up.
Yeah, but the number of calls doesn't necessarily always translate into the hours. I mean, sometimes a call can be a quick call, and sometimes you can be out for a day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
And it just seems to me, I haven't really looked at it, but it seems to me, I guess I'd just like to look at what we've spent in wages the last 3 or 4 years. And I don't know if Terry, that's something you can easily do.
What is it you want to know?
Huh?
What is it you want, John?
If we could just look at what we've spent in wages the last, say, 4 years. In a comparable period. I don't care if it's calendar year or probably calendar year would be the easiest because we haven't finished this fiscal year. But
You just want firefighter wages? Actual firefighting
well, I
wages?
think you got to do total because you didn't break maintenance and fire down before, right?
Okay,
So just the total wages, and training was broken down before, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe you could break it into 2 categories, sub training out or something. I'd just like to take a look at it because I agree with Jeff. I think we're gonna get some. I'd like to, you know, um, I'd like to be forearmed, as they say.
yeah, and like I said, we have wiggle room in the wages lines, because we bumped that fires up, but we're way under on the maintenance. I mean, we can cut that back.
But you said that was gonna change though, with the loss of, I assume you're talking about,
yeah,
um,
but you also got to remember that what's in there for the 23-24 budget was a kind of a guesstimate on his part because he didn't have any historical data for how to break out the difference between the two.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah,
And with the maintenance, I do 12 nights at 4 hours a night, and I picked 15 firefighters if they were here every night, which we don't have that. We, sometimes have 9, we had 11 the other night, and I did that by our pay, and that's last year. That's how I came up with that 11,520.
yeah, but we're near that with your actuals this year, but you said a few minutes ago that situation, that
Yes.
good situation is gonna change.
Yes, we're gonna be, and we've already started going back to having 3 or 4 hour maintenance nights again. Getting ready for that, really.
Yeah. But maybe you could look at maybe you could take a second look at that
Yeah,
number.
so
I mean, you have something in mind now where you think you might be, or you'd like to look at it?
probably wanna look at it,
Yeah,
do a little bit of math on the maintenance one at least.
yeah, that makes sense.
Because that $1,585 under that actuals right now doesn't seem right to me. That seems really, really low. Cause I mean, if we had just one night of training with 10 or 15 of us is here, that's gonna waste about $500 right there. Not waste, but I mean, it's gonna use up. So I'm thinking that number's wrong. Even
Well-
with Ralph and them doing maintenance checks on
Yeah,
some of the nights, during the days.
well, that's something you can get together with Terry and Phil on.
Yep.
yeah, and think about the fires line, because like John's saying, this could be an anomaly year. But between the two of them, my thinking is you could probably lose 5,000
Yeah,
between the two of them.
I think so.
And that would put you at 9,000 over last year total, which is the 10,000 for the hose. And that's explainable.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, like, I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Okay, so it looks like we gotta do some homework.
yeah.
Yep.
Reserves.
I don't have that page. Can someone just tell me quickly what they are and how much?
Have to find it first because it's.
Yeah,
Okay, so for. Fire pond maintenance. Last year we put in 5,000 in there and you're estimating and you're planning to put in another 5,000. Right? Fire pond.
What number?
What were you gonna?
No, don't we have to match some? Well, we do, but no, I thought. This one, this fire pond thing is confusing. I. I thought we had $5,000 in the budget last year because we knew we were gonna spend it on fire ponds last year, so we didn't put it in reserve, I thought. Am I wrong on that?
You,
I thought we put it in there and then if you used it.
You was gonna
take it
count
out.
Okay, maybe that's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I'm doing this one was gonna replenish it, the $5,000, because we got a grant that, for up to $10,000, but it's a matching grant, so we have to spend 5, which we're planning on anyway. And we're getting 5 from this grant. So if we do all this work, there's no work to be done. We won't need to do any work in this next budget. So I was thinking putting $5,000 in there to replenish, get it back up to where we were before this last budget.
so, but you don't, if I understand correctly, you don't need that 5,000 to accomplish what you want to accomplish next
No.
construction season with your grant.
Yeah, no, we already have
Okay.
enough in the fire pond reserve to
Okay,
pay for that.
okay. So that's a potential if we have to look at something. But anyways, go ahead.
okay, fire truck reserve last year, 60,835. This year, nothing because we're buying the truck. Fire equipment reserve.
Right, go back to that though.
Yeah.
That is. That's gonna have to be a payment in that though, right? Cause we only have 412,000 or whatever it is in there, the truck reserve, and we have $850,000 coming.
Didn't the town authorize you to borrow up to X amount? I mean, you're gonna have to borrow money to pay for the truck, right?
Yeah, it's all in that article. Terry, we've been through that 6 ways to Sunday. I
Yeah,
don't have it I don't have it down here with me, but
I can't remember the number, we were authorized to borrow, but up to 7 years.
yeah, I got my town reports. Do you know what year we authorized that? It was a while ago.
Was it last year?
No,
I
Year
don't think
before
so, year before.
I think it's the one with the fire trucks on the front door.
And have we already put in this year's to it,
This year's.
contribution to the fire truck reserve?
We did, yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right, the 60,835.
did you have anything on your reserve account budget list there for putting money into the fire truck repair reserve? Should have been 32.40 and 10 cents.
Yeah, that's much further down on my list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on mine, that's why.
So we were authorized by Article 9 and June 28, 2022 to issue bonds, notes, or execute a lease purchase agreement or agreements in an aggregate amount of debt principal not to exceed 438,683 for a term not exceeding 7 years. And basically, the strategy was fire truck reserve, 350,000, I'm rounding. The FY 24 appropriation, 61,000, and the bond or note, 438,683. And that should add up to the 800,000. And I know, Terry, you and I went through that several times. I don't have that paperwork with me.
Yeah, because that will have changed this time because of the 60,000 putting in there last year, right? Because we're gonna have,
But he included that 61, so that would have put it up to 411,000, and right now we've got 424,000. So we've got a little bit extra in it, which would make sense,
yeah,
interest and stuff, but so I guess the question is, do we have to do anything else to finish this off? Do we have to enter into
We
an
already
agreement?
did that. Didn't
And we've
we
already
enter?
done that.
Yeah, didn't we enter into a lease
Yeah.
purchase with,
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm just going from memory, but I
I
thought we did that. Terry, and
thought we didn't go through that company, did we?
Yeah, I don't.
You guys
I don't
voted
think-
not to go that
I
way.
don't think we did.
okay, we didn't do that?
I don't believe
think we
so.
were gonna look and see what
what
other
the rates were
options
gonna
are.
be, and what other options, yeah. That's what I
Okay,
was-
yeah, it's coming back to me now. We were close to it and then we decided not to because it got delayed again, didn't it, or something, or? I don't remember,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
so when are the trucks coming? Cause we will have to deal with that.
As of right now, September, both trucks in September, but the
Oh, okay.
update comes in April, so it could be September of 45 for all I know, but
Yeah, okay, so it's not something that
Right,
we need to do right away. Okay,
I did reach out to, Greg Jones at Machias. Because I knew we were gonna have to pay something eventually in that budget, and he gave me an estimate of what a payment might be for the upcoming budget year to plug into the spreadsheet.
well,
For
we wouldn't,
final truck purchase.
if they're not coming to September, we wouldn't need to make a payment this year.
No, but I thought they were coming in May.
Yeah, I know, right. So the first payment would be, well, either 6 months or a year from well, if they broke the payments down, depends on how they broke it down, but.
Yeah.
If
Well, we
it's
can discuss
annual,
that when we get to this.
yeah, if it's annual, that would put us into September I'm getting confused here. At
Yeah.
25, right?
25,
Right, yeah,
yeah.
That would be the next budget year.
yeah. I did it
So-
being based on, it was coming in May.
So I guess what we need to know, what would be nice to know, did he give you like an amortization schedule?
No, he just said, for 7 years, an interest rate of, I can't remember what it was, each year your payment would be, and it's in your debt schedule on your spreadsheet.
So is it an annual payment or due 1
Yes.
year?
Yeah,
1 year? Well, we probably should confirm that, because sometimes they put them in two, you gotta pay.
His email was, well, it wasn't that rigid,
Yeah,
but
I
it
know,
said a yearly payment would be,
yeah.
I guess my question would be like, if it's not gonna be until, say, September of 25, should we be putting something in this reserve out of this budget to help us out with that?
Well, that's where I was going. I mean, maybe we can lower. I don't know how bound we are by that article, but if we can lower the amount we're borrowing, that's gonna lower the amount of interest.
Exactly.
That's kind of where I was going with this. So we would have to increase the amount from reserve. I don't know if we need to go back to town meeting. I can't imagine anybody would argue with that, but
Well, I think it was worded up to, right, up to.
well, on the loan it was.
Yeah. And if we're not expending the money out of the fire truck reserve in this budget, which it doesn't sound like we're gonna, right? We'll end up.
No, we
or will
would. No, we would. Yeah,
It's September of 24, right? It's coming in
yeah,
September.
Yes.
right. And that's when we'd close on the loan theoretically, but the first payment theoretically wouldn't be due until a year later.
Right. But that would be for the other half of it. I mean, we're still gonna have to pay the first half out of the reserve account.
Sure.
Right, okay. So we.
Well,
so
and we also said out of the 24 appropriation, this timing delay is really messing things up.
Yeah,
I think we need to take a look at that. I'll take a look at it.
okay,
And Terry, maybe you can find that paperwork we had.
Yep,
Cause if, one thing I was thinking, like if we put money in there and it takes an extra year off, so we don't have to go 7, we go 6, something, that's gonna help us out on the next trucks that we're gonna be way behind on already.
yeah,
Cause we would already been putting in 2 years worth of money in the reserve for the next truck.
right. Well, I think we could start putting money into the reserve, no, never mind. I'll let John work that one.
Well, I think it makes sense to lower the amount we borrow by as much as we can.
Right,
You won't be removing that money during the fiscal year.
the fire truck reserve, yes, we would, we'd
This
be,
fiscal year ends June 30.
right, and September is when we get delivery.
Yeah, but wasn't that for this fiscal year?
No, we're talking about the budget fiscal year. What we're budgeting for right
For
now.
next, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not pulling it out of 23, 24. We'd be pulling it out of 24,
Yes.
25.
And the way things are going, it's not, would really be surprised if it moved back a month or two. It's- If anything, it's gonna go the other way.
Right, we're not gonna get it any earlier than September.
No.
Well, yeah, but it would have to go all the way out to past July 1st to change.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But it, I mean, the only year we don't put money into the reserve would be the year we pull money out. We could still put money in the reserve in the 25, 26 budget. But
then
it's
we have a
impacted
payment,
by
too.
what we're paying. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. That's why I said, I'll let John work that one out. Okay.
so right now we're leaving the fire truck reserve at 0.
At 0, yeah, I think we have to, I don't think we can. Let's see, next one's fire equipment reserve, and we traditionally put in 10, and we're proud to put in 10. And we have, what, 27 in there right now, 27,000. And
Well,
then the last,
until we get rid of that old truck, I don't think that's all too much.
yeah, I don't disagree with you, so I'm all for carrying that. And the fire truck repair reserve, which is a different line,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is,
That's what
yeah.
I was thinking of.
yeah, so there's fire truck repair, that's the one that's got,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's got 27 in it. 26,750.
And that's why I put 3,240.10. That would cap us off at $30,000 for that reserve,
Okay,
and that would be done.
that makes sense. So let me look back at fire equipment reserve. Oh, these reserves. Yeah, the fire equipment reserve's got 39,000 in it.
David,
Yeah,
would it make sense to use some of that for your hose? Or do you have that earmarked for something?
nope. I had it in my notes that if we need to cut something, I'd cut this 10, but I still want the hose, so
Yeah.
I had that
Well,
in my
no, I
notes.
know. Yeah, I read your notes and
Oh, you
I'm
guys
just-
got my notes? You weren't supposed to get my notes.
I wasn't.
Don't send them to me then.
I got them.
Oh,
I didn't
perfect.
get 'em.
Well, I
Oh, yeah,
am like
yeah,
behind
they're
the
in my book.
scenes.
Yeah, they're in my book. Yeah, I just haven't read them.
You should have put top secret on the top.
Yeah.
I guess so. Well,
For your eyes.
how you come up
It
with that?
says to select board.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, well, it's in on the wrong one, I guess.
Hey, it's all public information anyway.
No, I'm just joking, but
I know.
yes, that was my plan. If we had to cut something, I'd cut this 10 going into the reserve and purchase the hose. So keeping the 10,
And purchase it from the reserve, because you still want to put the 10 into the reserve, right?
no, put the 10 in the budget. Cause we wouldn't be able to take it out of the reserve if we put it in, right?
You can in execution, you just can't do it in budget. You just can't have it twice, so it can't show up on the budget as an expenditure, and as an input to the reserve. So you're gonna pull it out of the reserve. And you can put it in the reserve knowing you're gonna pull it out.
You can do that. Okay, I didn't think you could. Okay.
Yeah, it's, the whole purpose of that is so you don't double count it. It'll show up as an expenditure twice.
Mhm.
So and that's what you don't wanna do. So,
But do I
Okay.
have to go to a special town meeting or anything to pull that $10,000 out for the hose?
you wouldn't need a special,
Or-
you just need,
Comes with the board.
yeah, the select board can
Okay.
authorize.
Well, we
It's
can,
like-
but we traditionally have
We
gone,
traditionally don't, yeah, you're right.
have gone to
Should it-
town meetings, but.
Or should
um,
it stay in the budget so I don't have to do that, knowing we're gonna spend that?
I mean, I think it's easy if you stay in the budget and just drop the expenses, but I find it-
Drop this.
no, regardless of how we do it, I find it difficult to justify carrying 39,000 that's not earmarked for anything, if that is indeed the case, and when we need this hose so badly, which I agree we do. So I'd like to see us pause this a year and put the 10,000 in the budget. Or keep the
So-
10,000, but
Yeah, okay, so this would be zero.
Yep.
And we would fund the 10,000
right,
from.
right, and when we're talking about the increase at town meeting, we can say, well, yes, but it's 10,000 of that is, the reserve is 10,000 less than we normally put in because and that kind of,
And that actually would put you below for what you're gonna have to get from the town. You'd end up being less than you were last year. So that,
So 10,000 is not in the reserve,
Correct.
it is staying in the budget.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only advantage to not putting it in the budget is that number then on the budget is lower than it was last year.
And when he pays for it, when we pay for it, after he buys it, will that come out of the budget or will it come out of the reserve?
Either way, it's gonna come out of the reserve.
Okay.
Yeah, either way. So,
No,
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 Money in the budget, why?
that's gonna be totally separate from reserve.
no, when we go to how is this funded? When we go to the right side of the budget sheet,
You'll have a.
You'll
We're
have
gonna
a-
say it's coming from the third.
yeah, we'll have 5,000 coming from reserve.
10,000. Up,
I mean,
wasn't
10,000,
it?
I mean, 10, yeah, 10,000,
10,000.
yes, 10,000.
Hmm.
But see, the difference
Oh,
is that
okay,
makes,
yeah, and then we would put 10 in the reserve then?
no, we wouldn't, because we're taking 10 out, so we can't put 10 in. That's why it would be double,
Well,
counting.
No, my plan was $10,000 in the budget, budgeting it, not reserve, or $10,000 going in the reserve. To bump that up. That's why my notes were.
Yeah, I don't-
Not touch the equipment reserve.
David wasn't proposing we touch the come out with a
No.
lower balance.
Right,
Exactly.
I mean, we can do that, but that's not what
Yeah.
he's proposing. So, but in some ways, I like that idea of putting it in the reserve, and taking it out, and we could even have an article in the warrant to see if, to approve the 10,000. Well, do we even want to go there? We've kind of gotten away from going back to town meetings for sort of minor
right,
reserve
right.
expenditures. And we don't need to. It's just sort of was a tradition in this town for years, but I think we've somewhat gotten away from that.
Especially for equipment and repairs.
Yeah.
With, I mean, I don't think we've been doing it for equipment and repairs.
Well, we
Um,
used to,
right.
but we used to do it for 50 cents, but
Yeah,
Cause I'd be happy with doing that, just putting the 10, just keeping it right out of my budget, putting it in the reserve and then take it out for the hose.
I'm absolutely comfortable with doing it that way.
I am too. I am
Alright, so
too.
let's
Makes,
change it.
So I'm putting it back in the reserve,
Yeah.
and out of the budget.
Correct,
Okay.
That'll make the budget better.
yes.
yeah,
I mean, and that's,
Your head's spinning yet?
Yeah, it was before, now yeah.
and when we talk about the reserve, we can say we're putting 10 in, but we're planning to take 10 out, so. Okay,
all right, I think that's everything for you, You got
For
anything
budget wise, yeah,
budget wise, you got something else?
I do, yeah. Couple things.
I got, I had some questions on David's notes with his budget.
Why did I send that? Barry. Have you seen my note? Tell me, would you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what? would you have for
Jeff,
question?
Jeff, I have some questions on David's notes.
Oh, okay, and since I have not read those, go ahead,
Um,
because they were secret.
basically, oh, on the signage with street address numbers. Do you
Oh,
really?
Those notes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Or you
Oh.
have more
You have
secret
notes?
Oh.
Ah,
I know, I just had notes reminding me of what to bring up on this budget.
oh,
You
no,
know,
no,
that
no,
letter Thing. Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
no. So, although those notes are public information, David.
No, there's nothing bad.
No, he's got his own working notes.
Yeah, exactly. Just
That-
remind
Still
me.
public. Okay,
Come on.
I agree with you. I've noticed being out and about, road commission, and I've noticed there's a lot of places seems like a lot of places that don't have, address signs anymore that had them. And I'm not sure, based on some of the houses that I'm looking at, that it's all related to finances. Some may
Well, I mean, some could be, yes.
be, yeah,
Some
some
could be
could be.
laziness, some.
Yeah, and some of it, I think, is just we haven't advertised it in years, and some people maybe have moved here and they don't even have a clue. So maybe what we need to do is a little public information campaign on reminding people, getting it out on the listserv, putting notice up at the town office when people come in to register their cars. And basically have the counter people ask them, do you need an ad? Is your address sign up to date or something like that? I mean, we don't need to figure out the details, but I agree with you. I think it's gone downhill. And I think it's mainly, I don't doubt that some of it's related to cost, but, how much are they, Terry, the signs?
The small ones are like 6 something, and the larger ones are like 10.
The middle
Oh,
ones.
that cheap?
Yeah, they're ugly.
I thought
Yeah.
they were late.
Those are 80.
But,
Cents,
Mine kept getting knocked down.
but I think particularly as we get more and more rental units and stuff, people will rent it. They don't even know where they are sometimes. You know, so,
Yeah, nope.
in an emergency. So,
We run into it a lot, that there's no numbers and we have to search for where we're going.
yeah,
What about like the streets or the dirt roads, but they have a street name? I know a lot of those don't seem to have numbers on them, or if they do, it's a little
Yeah.
bit down on the ground.
Exactly. Same
So
thing.
how are you gonna see that, especially if it's covered with leaves or snow or ice?
Yeah, no, they'd have to be brought up to
Yeah,
where we,
Yeah.
out of the snow. And-
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think there's a requirement in the addressing ordinance, which has now been changed to. Wasn't there a requirement in there about when, so many feet off the ground, and I can't remember exactly, but
There is.
I just think we need to put that on Hannah's to-do list. And undertake work on a campaign. We talked about the trucks. The smoke detectors, I agree with you, but I don't know what we can do about that other than just work on a campaign to get people to do them. But my real question comes up under 8. And I keep hearing people talk about we need a replacement plan for the fire station. But nobody's ever told me why. I mean, and I've certainly been in a lot of town offices around the state, and I've seen many fire stations that are much better, but I've seen some that are a lot worse. And I'm just curious, what is the problem with the current station? That
one major thing is room. Also, we're getting, you just heard in the ambulance thing, we're getting more and more closer to having people staying here all the time. Sleeping quarters is just not here. We have no room for that.
Yeah,
That's a big thing. The metal siding, you've seen it, it's rotting right out in multiple places. We've, like, multiple times we go out and there's chunks of cement from the foundation, laying in the ground, right out by the bays, that it's just, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff deteriorating. And we've, between town office, the fire department, and everything, we're maxed out in room,
Yeah,
major.
yeah, there's no room in the town office either. We have 0 storage left.
well, you guys all are aware we're still paying off the loan to renovate that.
Yeah,
And doing that, we lost a lot of square footage by this renovation. All of our upstairs that we used to have is gone. And that was where, we had offices, we had training room, we had storage space. We lost all that when this building renovation took place.
Yeah, but that was all illegal. Wasn't code compliant and.
Well, I know, but what I'm getting at is we didn't gain any room. We lost
Yeah.
a lot of room by this renovation that took place. And
But
where
you
we're
can-
sitting right now was our station.
But you can use the meeting room.
No, I understand that, but like out in the bay floors and stuff, we're maxing out, and the ambulance
Yeah.
room, and I'm talking for the ambulance too. Look at the room that the ambulance crew is living in there right now. It's a closet. So there's a lot,
Yeah.
it's not just that, it's just everywhere, town office,
Yeah, I know.
But
I
that's why I put it on
understand.
there.
I understand. But as long as we're paying off that loan and what we're trying to do down Guilford Butler, I don't know. I don't see this happening in the near term. I just don't, but.
Well, the
So,
reason I put it on there is because, it's been mentioned years ago, I remember mentioned about capital, improvement of
Yeah.
a new building, and nothing, it's been a long time, and obviously nothing has changed. So I wanted to put it on there because you guys requested.
yep, I'm glad you did.
In the future, what do you see for expenditures? Well, somebody should be thinking about this municipal building. This is our main building in town. And it's never talked about. There's no plan. I mean, I understand we're getting a beautiful brand new library and stuff, but we still gotta look at our buildings that we're using every day here. So that's why I put it on there.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm not being critical. I'm just trying to tell you that I think, given the status of where things are at, that's just my personal opinion. That's not going to rise to the top anytime soon. That's just my personal opinion. And, maybe we need to do some, maybe we need to have a small building for storage or something. I don't know. I mean, but,
Yeah.
in the interim, that maybe the town office, and I'm still convinced that back office could be, and I know Terry probably never has the time, but if we went through the
Oh, I
files,
want to.
huh? If we went through the files and reorganized that, we could gain space out there. Sleeping quarters, I don't think we ever envisioned anybody sleeping. I mean, maybe we need to make it more comfortable for sleeping out there if we're gonna have people sleeping. In terms of, a bed or something with a curtain, I don't know, but I
Yeah,
just,
well, the problem is there's no room in there for that.
well, no, but they got those two big, huge recliners. I mean, so, they take up a lot of room. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to tell you, and I'm glad you put it down. I'm just trying to tell you, I think we need to be thinking maybe more short-term fixes. Because I personally don't see this. And I know the siding is bad. I mean, I replaced that corner siding that was torn so bad, and we've got some money to do some work on the siding. I don't think the concrete is structural. I think it's just kind of peeling off from the corners and stuff. Um, but anyways, and I understand the room problem, but the more we get, the more we exacerbate that room problem too, so, but I don't know. And I know you guys have worked with it. You store stuff in the trailer, right? You had been, or
What trailer?
one of the trailers, weren't you storing some gear in one of the trailers?
Oh,
Or
yeah. Yeah, we have a box trailer that all of
Yeah.
our forestry stuff stays in, and that goes out in
Right.
the summer so we can gain room. But the
Right.
trailer sits outside all year.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, okay, that's all I just wanted to hear your thoughts and reasoning.
Yep,
But I appreciate it.
yep. So a couple things that I had. Brought my attention the other day by the St. George Fire Chief that one of their chiefs had gotten a little fender bender on a call. And they didn't realize that their town insurance does not cover their personal vehicles on scene or going to a call or whatever, when they're on duty for the fire. So I brought that up to Terry to see if what we had that covers our vehicles, and the insurance company or whoever it was, they sent an email back saying that, the volunteer firefighters ourselves as people were covered under workman's comp. If their personal vehicle is damaged, however, that would fall on their personal vehicle insurance or our own insurance. It's possible, depending on what they have for coverage, that we could do a reimbursement for their auto deductible. You'd put a claim in with property and casualty department, and they'd be able to tell if it is reimbursable or not. But that's still a claim that's going on our insurance. It could hike up our rates. It could, it's affecting us as responders. This is as far as we've made it, so I don't know if there's like riders that we could put on or umbrellas or whatever, or I don't know. Because we do have vehicles that go to scenes on calls, and it's same with ambulance, same thing.
And to add to that, some insurance companies will not honor it at all if you haven't already told them you use it for your job as a firefighter. So I mean, if you're using it for any business and you haven't declared that to the insurance company, they may not pay it. So that is, see, this sounds familiar to me, and I seem to recall this years ago, us having a similar discussion about whether individuals were covered for their vehicles if they, and we were talking specifically about the fire department, if they respond to an incident and something happens, whether or not our insurance covered it. And I thought it did. I mean, the same thing would apply to our road commissioner as well, using their own personal vehicle and a tree, yeah, and code enforcement, and a tree falls on your truck. So I could have sworn that we ended up having coverage that did in fact cover vehicles. But
Yeah, I kind of remember the opposite. I remember that we looked into it and we ran into kind of a dead end. The insurance company basically at that time said, no, we can't take that on. How do we know that it happened, when, someone gets a scratch and, you know what I mean? That I think there was, no, I'm not saying that our guys would do that, but I think that's the attitude the insurance people took. But I think that's something we can certainly look into, and I have sympathy. I do have sympathy with that, but I don't know that we're going to have a solution unless we create some sort of, I don't know. But we can certainly have Terry or Hannah look into it with MMA. But David,
Yeah.
you used the word volunteers again. I just want to be absolutely clear.
Well,
we
no,
no longer
we're
have
not.
any volunteers, correct?
No, but that's what this insurance place wrote back, volunteer firefighters. If a
Okay,
VFF, regardless of position, we're covered as people, but not our vehicles.
Right, under workers' comp, because they're
So that's why
employed.
I said that, because that's what they
Yeah.
wrote.
Yeah, okay.
and yeah, and you could be right. I mean, they may have a rule for volunteer firefighters that is not the same rule for municipal firefighters.
They might. But as long as we don't have any volunteers, it doesn't
No.
matter. I mean, if you're an employee, you're covered under workers' comp, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna,
Pump wasn't the issue.
No, he knows.
He meant,
Yeah.
yeah, insurance, regards.
all set for the next one?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep throwing those grenades.
Can I ask a dumb question? Did we finish the reserve accounts?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So the next one is the alarms, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, all that stuff for this whole building, the municipal building here at the town office fire station. Right now, we just have a combination plug-in alarm up by the town office. And we just recently got a gas alarm plug-in down by the brand new boilers. That's all we have for alarms in the whole building to notify us if something's going on. Now we have people sleeping here overnights that if something happens here, there is no way for them to be alarmed that there's anything going on. So I didn't call like the fire marshal or anything yet to see like what's the minimum recommendations for a place like this. With, all the different scenarios of public building, people sleeping, that type of stuff. And so I haven't gone that far because I didn't want to stir the pot or anything. The only thing we did do was we got and I don't know if Terry sent it to you guys, but a proposal from Seacoast with what they recommend for things everywhere and going through them, they would install it. This proposal is for everything in the building, so heat sensors, combination alarms, gas alarms, a panel out by the town office, linked in with Seacoast, all of that stuff. Did you guys get that or no?
No,
No, okay. Alright. So that's like, it's $19,000, just a rough estimate to outfit this whole building with, all the alarm system, no burglary, but all fire.
And also the monitoring of it,
Yes,
There
But
were
for a
monthly
year?
fee for monitoring.
and that's not in the 19.
No,
no, I think it's like $49 or something.
I think the information was in the budget under, but built in balance, but I wanted David to explain it. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's how far we've made it so far. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what the requirement is from the fire marshals with the whole layout and whatever. I don't know, because I wasn't a part of this building committee that did this renovation stuff, so I don't know what they ran into where they tore out walls and remodeled this building of why stuff wasn't hardwired and stuff in this building. I don't know. I wasn't a part of it, and I don't know if anyone can recall that, but
Well, the fire marshals approved the plans,
yeah, okay. But that was
so, I mean,
before people were sleeping here.
yeah, and I didn't want to bring that up, but I was thinking could become an issue, but anyway,
And the requirement might not be, this is like doing the whole building, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Could you continue with,
That's not, I'm not sure. That's what I need to check into, but I didn't want to do that until I brought it up to everyone and get your thoughts and.
So we do have smoke detectors though.
No, we don't.
No.
We have nothing. We have a combination up by the hall, out by the town office. That's the only thing in the whole.
One in each area.
There's no smoke detectors in the entire fire station?
No, that's what I'm getting at. I don't know how this got away with this renovation. I don't know. I don't understand it.
I don't either. I just assumed we had smoke detectors, we had given away.
No,
But, I mean, that, we could install smoke detectors cheaply. You wouldn't have an alarm system.
depending on if they have to be hardwired. I'm not sure what the code is for
Yeah.
this building. If they required to be hardwired, then you're gonna be getting into obviously running wires
To
from,
be interconnected, they'd have to be,
yeah.
Right.
and they should be interconnected. We would not know right now if there was an alarm going off in the boiler room.
Right.
We would have no clue. So,
Well, personally, I feel that we should find out, particularly if we're gonna have people sleeping there. What's the minimum we have to do? I'm not saying we would do the minimum. I mean, I'm not saying we would just do the minimum, might do more, but I think we should find out what we gotta do.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to call the fire marshals and talk to them about the situation of the whole building and. Like you
Yeah, I
said,
think-
what's the minimum requirement?
I think we may run into trouble with people sleeping there, though.
I think we had this conversation.
And we were all
We
set.
did. We did.
But I think there was a distinction made that we are not, this is not a place for people to sleep. It is people who are on duty, on call, and they happen to fall asleep. And it's not sleeping quarters. We don't have people who are sleeping and people who are working. We have people who are working who take the opportunity to take a nap.
I think this could get into a fine, nuanced discussion.
Yeah, but I think that's how the discussion went before when we discussed this before, that it's not sleeping quarters, it's working quarters, where you can relax.
I
But I
distinctly,
do think
I distinctly remember we were not approved for sleeping quarters.
yeah, that's what I recall too.
I thought
Which is-
you looked into that and had a different answer.
Just recently, right?
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah,
I heard
John
in a meeting.
Hanson, I got an email from John saying that as long as there was an outside exit, people could sleep there. But I think it may be more along Jeff's thinking, if someone's
Right.
working, they're on duty and they fall asleep. But once you start putting beds and,
Right,
yeah,
and
You know,
calling it sleeping quarters.
right. But I still would be in favor of David looking into this with the fire marshal's office. I mean,
Yes.
I actually thought the proposal from Seacoast would be a lot more.
And that was, he said that the quote, because if we got a quote through someone else, out in the bay floors, he had priced out running conduit out through the whole bay floors, which another company may not do that. They might just hang the wiring right from the beams out there and this is a neater, better way, but he said he didn't want his proposal to look funny because of, getting two quotes, and this person just runs their wires wherever they want, and these guys did it nice and clean with conduit.
Right.
So that did add a little bit of price, but yeah, and we have it in an email, there he has it.
I thought I sent it to you guys, but it must be in the draft mode or something. I'll send it tomorrow.
That box that you don't
Yeah.
know really there.
That's great. Okay, you got another?
No, I
Andrew?
think I'll stop with that one.
Thank you for covering that, David. I know that's beyond.
No problem. And in your notes that we did receive, you did talk about the public not having smoke alarms and those kind of things.
Yes,
I seem to recall fire departments having smoke alarms that they would give away.
yeah, Camden, Rockport, and Rockland have like a program that they do.
Yeah,
Did they write a grant for that, or is that?
I'm not sure how they purchase them, I don't know, I'm not sure. But there are grants,
I was
we
just
could
trying
get that,
Way to look it up, to see, it looked like kid might have, or
Yeah.
whatever. it's called.
T or whatever it is, yeah.
That they might have something.
yeah, 'cause I think that would.
Well, I
And
also
I'll
think,
tell you the truth, I just assumed that if you went to a fire department and said, I need some smoke alarms, that fire department would, any fire department would give them to you, but I guess
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, we
it's not even,
don't have any here,
okay,
and obviously they expire after,
yeah,
they have an expiration on them, so.
Yeah. true. Okay. Last chance.
No, I
Okay.
think I'm good for now, I'll hit you up at the next one.
All right, Penny. Library. Oh no. 1% increase.
Go on.
Yeah, well, you're gonna come in a negative.
Able to do budget
Yeah.
and, make it work. The winner, but
That's too easy now.
That's right.
the van delivery, is, they are restructuring. So we are still not part of that, but hopefully this will be the year that and that's the Minerva catalog program, that's actually mainly, the van delivery that will bring interlibrary books into the library once a week.
Do you anticipate it being prior to June or?
No.
No, okay.
Well, I'm excited. In this fall. But I hope that it will happen this year. They do it part of the budget. There's a small increase to library world, but not enough to change the budget.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? All right.
I will let you know that we have started purchasing LED lights from our checkbook. So. We'll eventually have LED fluorescent, or the 4-foot LED lights throughout the building, look, the top floor. And I'm hoping that I will come to the select board and ask for permission to get a garden shed. So we can keep rototiller and garden tools in a shed outside. But that wouldn't be in the budget, that would also be out of our donations. And the fundraising that we do with our book sales and coffee and soup and all that.
Okay, anything else? You'll move to cemetery, you ready? You got anything,
I
John?
just, I wanted to ask Terry if that volunteer coverage was still $2 per person.
Yep,
Okay, so that's good for 26.
hasn't. I mean, it happened in the spring, it's been the same forever, they didn't think it would change, but, you know.
I'm still working under 26, regular volunteer, so. Alright. Cemetery
Terry,
is, I'm happy with the same budget, we did not get the full days we hoped for repairs, but I'd like to keep it the same in case you can come longer next year. That's the 5,600.
how's the mowing?
Um. It goes hot and cold.
Yeah,
We had some definite scratches, but they swear they didn't do, but nobody else that could have happened.
Right.
yeah.
What is the porta potty? Is that for when they're working?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, they're on site for, last year it was the, 5 days. And it doesn't matter if we get a porta potty for a day or a week or a month, it's $150, so. But we do have them on site because they're staying farther away from the cemetery.
Right.
And I can't let them in the little red schoolhouse anymore.
Does that
Okay, you
include,
said-
does that include doing another lane? Taking the,
No. That's out.
so you think we're okay? We don't need to,
So you don't need the grade cemetery road?
No, and
Okay. You said the same budget, but I didn't put it in, but I highlighted it on my sheet,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
asked you if I needed something.
no, we've done, I mean, there's probably some minor road work to be done up there, even on the new one that was put in last year. He came and left, and I never even saw him up there, so I wasn't able to go up there and have him fix, you know, the bad spots in the new avenue.
So, do you need to put some money into do that?
I have no clue what it might cost.
John's good at figuring that.
There's a low spot in the new avenue. I was gonna
Yeah.
do it for free. We paid a lot for that avenue and we need it.
yeah, I saw that. I bet they can fix that for $300 or $400. I mean, it's never gonna be great there because it's wet there, but is that what you're talking about where the real wet spot is?
Well, there's the dip in the new avenue. There's the wet spot.
Yeah,
In the
yeah, he
road.
might even fix it for nothing, but
That's what
I
I
mean,
was
if you-
hoping if I could have gotten it.
if you threw a couple of $100 in, we probably, because I mean, probably could get something done.
130, 230, 230,
230? All right,
yeah,
Okay.
so, 230.
okay.
I mean, even if that just bought some material, he might do it for nothing.
Veterans. We did buy flags this year.
You haven't bought them yet, it's not time. It's not going to buy them from one another,
Yeah,
so you haven't bought them yet.
oh, yeah, okay.
We need to buy more next May.
Hey, Jeff,
Yeah,
I need to run next door for about 10 minutes. You guys can keep going. I really don't have any comments on social services or debts or streetlights or planning board. I would like to talk a little bit about the reval reserves, and I'll be back quickly.
okay.
I told some guy he was gonna show me something. I told him I'd meet him at 5:30. I thought we'd be done, but.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'll be right back. It probably shouldn't be more than hopefully 5 minutes.
Okay, not a problem.
Sorry about that.
All right. So are we good with cemetery? See if I can find reserves again.
Now, going back to library, we had voted to fund the library budget last year with 2,500 from our, and I don't know if that ever happened. But I'll check with Phil, because maybe it happened at the end of the fiscal year.
Well, you've only spent $1,200.
Oh,
I
well,
think something he did pay out of that,
okay.
I can't remember.
Well, I will definitely be using all of the books money.
So we don't want to plan to use it this year then. So that would be fine.
No, I think we said we would,
No, I mean, in this year's budget, in this budget.
this coming budget, yes, I want to apply another 2,500 from our,
You do want to apply.
well, I either want to put it into library, I want to put it into utilities.
Okay.
At Guilford Butler. Because, we are raising money, this building, and then, that's my other question, so if we are now making money from letting the room be used, where's that money going? We're gonna have a revenue.
All right. Well,
Should it go toward the expenses on the building?
either the expenses of the building or to the library account. I mean, we can. Depends on how we want to account for it. We can do it either way, right?
Yeah.
Just keeping track of it is the important thing.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the library, either utilities or.
So, especially if it's gonna go into the library checkbook, then I would like to take some portion of that monies and apply it to utilities.
It shouldn't go to the library checkbook, though, it should come to the town office.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
And go where?
Cyberspace.
Yeah.
We put it in.
Generally, go into the general fund, but then,
So
We
then
could,
it
we could
would-
make a library revenue, I guess.
Number.
Yeah, and that's library revenue, rentals, I think there's already
I think there is.
a room rentals
For here.
live for here. I mean, we can just make one that's specifically, actually, they're probably the only one that's gonna get it, so. It'd be easy enough to figure out, even if we want them all together at the end of the year, well, how much of this was library and how much was, we can make a whole separate line.
I guess that was another revenue that I didn't know where it was going and how we would be spending it, so.
I think when you got a couple donations that came in after they were approved, Bill put them in the account that was, this is how much the library is gonna put towards their own
Okay,
expenditures.
okay.
So I think that was like, I want to say it was like $400
Mhm.
that you have put towards funding the library. So that did go into that account when they came directly to us and not to you.
Right. I better talk to Phil because it seems like most of the donations that have come in, I have deposited into the.
Right, because they come to you.
So these didn't come.
They came in the mail, I think.
Mhm.
So it was, instead of giving them to you to take out your, we
Yeah.
just put them in that account, because $2,500 of your revenues or donations is supposed to go towards funding that.
Okay. Well, I was interested in recreation, but I got yoga and PEO tonight.
Ambulance, no, cemetery reserve. $1,000,
Yes,
okay? Good by me.
thank you.
Thank you.
You
Social services. Okay, I give up. Where does it hide?
You wait for Ralph.
mine's a blue tab,
Mine's a piece of, so.
it's on, online.
Mine's right before library.
It's very small, just because it's
Yeah.
very small.
Mine's green. Your mom's. I can mark this you.
It's after solid waste.
Right before library.
Um,
And then we forget to put one of the, do you know when? Just leave you out.
Probably do, I just don't see it. I see recreation, debt services. Okay, 1,500, and that's what we're allowed for general assistance. That's what they'll reimburse.
That's what we've done for the last zillion years.
Yeah, well, at some point it changed, it increased, I think, or something. Okay,
We have had more people come in lately to get an application.
have they turned them in?
No,
No.
they look at what we asked them to give
They have to
us.
prove something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they never come back.
I know.
Yeah.
I just think it's an onerous process and
Yeah.
people do not want to participate.
No,
No, they just won't.
They don't wanna tell you anything.
That's,
Part of that.
yeah, that's part of it too. Okay, streetlights, and I just saw that one.
that's after fire. I mean, after
Public safety.
Public safety.
Mine's green.
Good.
You should color coded these, so we all knew what color we were doing.
Mine's
That would
blue.
have been a lot more work.
Yeah, cause I went like. Two, I used 2 of them and a half of one, and then I used the other half instead of the other one.
Street light was after public safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3,500. It's gone down.
Oops, I gotta find it on my sheet. I mean, on my. The reason I lowered repairs and maintenance because we no longer have to
Right.
contact Ubiquia because they were charging a fee on top of what Headstrom charged us to fix it. So we cut out the middleman, so I don't think it's not gonna cost as much, plus
Yeah, we've
no
only
one
spent.
complains about our lights, but when we had that map, we could tell when something was out.
Right. And we've only spent 600. Okay, that looks good to me. And planning board.
Like Eric said, just keep it the same. So I did increase the note taker by 3.3%, which we have to find one. I've been doing them currently because I'm there.
Yeah, no.
The hand veil had the baby.
Yeah. It
But it is hard to take minutes and participate in the meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if I have to go back to doing it, I can.
Oh, no, we'll find someone. You're gonna be pissy enough, girl.
Right, okay, so,
Yeah, so good.
We didn't-
oh, so this, okay, so this includes your increase, right? Is that right?
No, this is just planning board.
It includes this,
This is the person that takes minutes. Hannah did it, so she left, and before that, Crystal did it.
Okay, never mind, I'm looking at the wrong.
The third one is.
Got it. Right. Once again, mileage or training is not used. All of
No,
them,
so I actually lowered it to 300 instead of 500,
yeah,
thinking that, you know, there might eventually be someone that wants
to learn
to
something.
learn something new. I think we might do it. Because you know, the first time you take it away, someone will all of a sudden decide that I really want to take that class.
Yeah, and there are so many of them being offered by MMA,
Yeah,
and they're easy to take.
yep,
I mean,
do they do them online?
they are doing,
Oh,
they do, I'd say a third of them they do.
yeah.
online.
I took the planning board for dummies. I took that because I didn't really know much about how the planning board
mhm.
really was supposed to work.
Yeah,
So I did take that, and it was online, it was easy.
yeah,
It was kind of long, but it was easy. And I did raise the postage for mailing a little bit because
It's,
the post office is going crazy.
yeah.
yeah. Well, and the new rules that they wrote for themselves require them to send out more notifications than they did before.
What were you eating? Well, that's next week,
Okay, planning board is good. Now back to the CEO one that I was looking at before. Four hundred. It's not the back.
It's right
In the middle.
after town landing. Did you see
Yeah,
that one?
And so this one does include the change.
yes.
Okay.
And I did do, a third of the health insurance under this budget and the 2/3 under this budget, 1/3 under admin. I'll make it that way.
So was this one went up so much because the prior person did not have health insurance?
No, this one went up so much
Average.
because you're gonna pay me
Right.
20 hours.
Right, more
instead of
hours.
More hours, plus the other person doesn't have health insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I mean, I understood the wage, I didn't need to ask about that, but, because they didn't work enough hours.
Right,
Yeah.
they work 14, I think.
Yeah.
Did increase the mileage a little bit. I hope to get out there more than I have been able to.
Right. And I thought we already paid something for that this year.
We didn't pay anything in this
Oh,
budget we're in.
Came out in the previous one.
So next year we'll have to,
Okay. How was working?
I love it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ann?
I haven't used it in a while.
Well, I haven't used it in a while.
I like it.
Yeah.
When I did use it.
It was really great. I could put in a permit and then when they paid, Ann could put in that it was paid. So it's pretty user friendly and there's a lot of reports you can do, but I really honestly haven't had time to delve into them too much.
I saw something from St. George where I think it's iWork that they're using.
Yes, they do, and they've got it so people can go online and do their permit and it will autofill and I work for them. Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna ask Terry about it, but I think I'll have to ask Megan.
I just said this.
Terry, but that is something we can look into too
Yeah.
to see.
The only thing is, it looked like anybody could query anybody else's
Yes.
permit. And,
Yes, I didn't know if I liked that
yeah,
part, but I did like that someone could fill out the permit and I could go in the morning and it would tell me you have a new permit process. And
right,
everything would be there.
yeah.
But yeah, I do like that you could just look and see what anyone's doing. But I guess that's part of,
Yeah, and I mean, a part of me thinks somebody who is getting ready to call you to say, hey, what's going on? What's that person
Right.
cutting the trees, or
yeah,
you could just refer them to I work
yeah,
and they
that's true.
look it up, but
Yeah, I can look into that more and see.
You won't have a hard time with computers.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
back.
having a hard time with people. with
I was just checking.
Sorry
We're
about
just
that.
finishing- That's all right. We're just finishing up CEO.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's that'll be a sticker shock too, 77% increase, but
Yeah,
but it is what it is. I mean, it's
this whole budget's looking tough.
yeah.
And that's without the school and transfer station and Knox County.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And the school's not getting as much from the state as there either, so.
really.
We have this huge rainy day fund that's as high as it can be and we can't get money for the stabilization program and cut interest doesn't.
This does not make sense to me.
No, me either.
Part of it said that we had fewer kids in special ed, which I can't believe,
No, I can't.
and fewer lower income students, but I don't even know how they gauge that because with everybody having free or reduced lunch,
Right,
people don't fill out those forms.
oh,
I mean, everybody having free lunch, not free and reduced, everyone's lunch and breakfast is free, so they just don't fill out those forms.
right. And so that hurts the school, yeah.
Yeah.
I skipped debt services.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Don't know why. I checked it off.
Well, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
We
I
either
had thrown it, I had thrown the number for the fire truck in there, I don't know. what
Yeah,
it was.
it sounds like we gotta, when we work on that, we can deal with that. We can take that out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll end up basically. Well, yeah, okay. So we got the loan at the town office, right?
Yep,
And the street lights,
yep,
and we don't have a tan anymore, right?
right,
Is that it?
yeah.
The ambulance- The
No
ambulance, that's paid, right?
Yep, so that's all it is unless you added the fire truck and the number that Greg gave me would be 75,813 a year for 7 years. But that's all just playing with numbers, so I had something to put in there. But if
Yeah.
it's not until September, it's not an issue yet, is it?
No. Not unless it's, we probably should just check with them and make sure the first payment would be due a year from when we close. Just double check that.
Okay. And if he says that a year from when we close, I can take it out?
Yeah, and if he's,
Yeah.
because sometimes they'll want like interest twice a year. The principal once or something, Isn't our building loan that way? Isn't that twice a year?
I think so. Supposed to
No.
be.
Okay. And I'm sure we could structure it that
Yeah,
way with somebody. Okay.
All right, now assessor reval reserve.
What do we have?
Reval's got 95,000 in it.
And what are we proposing?
Sorry.
How
That's
much?
been our two number, don't, how we,
We didn't put anything in yet, but 10,000 is what we've been doing.
Yeah. I tried it with Kevin. He thinks that we're really, we're gonna really get, if we start factoring on a factor, it's gonna get really messy. And, I can't remember what he said. Do you remember what we paid for the revale last time, Terry, by chance?
no,
Jeff, do you, or?
I don't offhand.
It strikes me it was north of 100,000.
Yes. For some reason, 200 was sticking in my brain, but I don't know if that was
Yeah,
my estimate of what it'd be next time.
yeah, no, I thought Kevin told me that he thought it would be about 200,000 now. But maybe that's what we paid last time. But, quiet. But anyways, I don't know, this is, I don't know what to do here. Because we're gonna start losing. We're gonna start losing the reimbursements, because of the rates,
Are we? Has he done the calculation?
Well,
the
that's what
latest
he told me he thought we would if we didn't, he thought we were gonna lose it again this year. But it's hard to have this conversation without him.
Yeah, I agree. And when the number that the county used for our appraisal, the town appraisal, went up significantly this year.
That's based on state valuation.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that would lend credence to the idea that we might have
yeah,
continued to fall behind. But again, I still have no problem band-aiding, doing it across the board, as long as the internal isn't too far out of whack. The difference between properties isn't
quality.
too far. The quality portion, yeah.
yeah, I don't
see.
either. He just thought it was gonna get messy from a technical point of view, because, I mean, right now we have, help me out here, Terry, but in Trio, we have one value and in Vision another, and,
yeah.
huh?
Trios was factored, but Vision, we were not able to factor Vision.
Right, so we've got this note on there that says these are not correct values or something in red, right?
Yep, on the webpage.
And I don't know if it's caused any issues yet.
Haven't heard anything.
Oh, good.
Look at.
Yeah.
But I think at 10,000 a year, we're not putting enough away to bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin will be here tomorrow if you want to come and chat with him.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, could you do that, Jeff?
Yeah.
That would be good, because I can't remember what he told me and I wrote it down somewhere and I didn't bring all my stuff with me. I probably should have, but and anyways,
Yeah, but see, again, with me, as long as the one that is generating the taxes has the correct value, I'm not sold on the fact that our vision has to be
yeah. Well,
in line.
well, talk to him. Talk to him about it, 'cause
I hate to spend $250,000 or $200,000 just to keep our vision up to date. That's
no,
my
no.
personal opinion.
that wasn't his concern though.
Yeah,
He had concerns that when if you talk to him, he's concerned about factoring on top of a factor and, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah stuff. And I'd like to find out, I think some of the local towns just did revals. I thought Warren did one. And, huh?
And I did Cushing just did. Cushing.
Cushing,
Cushing? I'd like to
did
find
a
out
revamp.
who they used and what they paid.
Yeah,
Can you make a couple phone calls, somebody?
Candace,
Anna said yes.
Candace,
I think it was Warren. I think Warren just did one. And I know Rockland's doing one, but I think their assessor does it. But maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think their number would be, and I think they went with Vision
I think they did too.
and,
Well, Kevin thinks we should just get out of Vision altogether.
well, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah. But they will only do a reval if you use their system.
Yeah. And once you have their system, you almost have to use, that's why Rockland went with them, because they already had their system.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, you can't easily take their information and convert it to Trio,
Correct.
And I'm sure that's by design.
probably.
Yeah. So you want to put 10,000 in right now until we,
I'd prefer to pencil in 20 and then knock it back to 10 so we don't forget it.
I don't have a problem with that.
We can always
Sort of like-
knock it back. If we put in 10, we're liable to forget all about it.
Yeah, but again, it's sort of like the recreation reserve. It's too little is still too little, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of recreation,
What do we have in, oh, we got recreation.
that's the last thing on the list.
Yeah. I
And
thought,
we have nothing.
again, I don't have that. I thought I printed the whole budget off, but it didn't obviously print.
Well,
That's
and,
it. That's near the back, right?
yeah,
What
and
line?
right now we've got nothing in for this year.
Nothing for recreation?
The whole budget needs numbers.
Oh,
We put all this money in it last year, nothing's been spent, I don't know I don't know where anything stands in it, so I didn't put any numbers in it.
we didn't spend the Little League money or,
Well, we will this spring, we'll use Little League money, but.
oh,
Little
that's right
League's
there.
in the spring.
I guess I'm gonna have to,
That's the Little League money.
yeah, I didn't print it off, so I don't have the numbers what are left, but we have a plan to deal with that with one tennis court. And I think we need, I think we're like just a couple $1,000s short of being able to do that. But maybe we can carry some of this forward. What's in this year's budget, Terry?
There was $1,000 in dues, fees and travel, 100 for miscellaneous,
So the
We
dues,
carry-
fees and travel, that's the Little League, right?
yes.
And then what
We
else?
We carried forward $8,225.
Okay, well, we need to do that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There was 1,000 also for maintenance or repair for the skateboard park.
Yeah, and we spent some of that.
No,
Yeah, we bought those screws, those expensive screws and.
was that last year? If it
Boy,
was last spring, it would have been in the last budget, right?
I don't remember when we did that, but we bought, I mean, those screws were expensive. They were stainless and I hope they didn't go to building and grounds.
What's the carry forward?
That's
The
what we
carry-
carried forward from last budget,
That we didn't
last
use.
year, it was one of our carry forward numbers, and this is where
But it,
Mindy told me to put them.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that carry forward is shown as an expense.
This is where I kind of gave up on this. I asked Mindy where to put it, and she said, put it where you took it from. You carried forward from the recreation, you're gonna put it in there as what you're budgeting for the expense.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Well,
No, because I think,
we can put it wherever you guys wanna tell me to.
yeah,
Well, we definitely need to carry forward that 8,200 again to
Mhm.
carry out our plan. And
but
I
that
think
would
we need,
go,
Would that go in reserve?
yeah, that would go, that wouldn't go on the budget, that wouldn't go
no,
under
no,
expenditure.
no, but we need to remember to carry that forward. So,
Right.
so how much do we have in the reserve?
$15,000,
Okay, and if we carry forward the 8, well, that actually should be enough. That even should buy us a new net. I think the only thing we need to budget for is, I reserve the right to say I'm wrong tomorrow, but I think the only thing we need to budget for is the Little League. And maybe, $500 for the skateboard park or something. Because with the reserve, and we still don't have our reimbursement yet from,
No, we don't.
now we could always put more in there to work towards the second court, but. And maybe we should keep 5 in there in the reserve or something, but other than that. I think. That would be my proposal. We budget for the Little League. Maybe $500 for maintenance and repairs. And $5,000 for in the reserve. And that should give us enough to fix that west court with the plan that we talked about and still leave a little work in the reserve working for the second one.
so 500 for maintenance and repair.
For skateboard.
How much for the skateboard?
It
could be used anywhere,
but.
Okay.
It could be used anywhere, but yeah, probably for the skate.
100 for miscellaneous supplies. And 1,000 for dues, fees and travel. Should make it 1,600.
Mhm.
And then my proposal is that we put the 8,225 into the reserve. Plus you'd want another 5 in the reserve, or?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, just to keep something working.
Yeah, so put 13,225 in the reserve. And we'll fund 8,225 from surplus.
Okay.
Cause that 8,225 didn't actually make it into any kind of a reserve account, right?
No, it's just, it made it into this account. Well, I'm gonna send you the email, maybe something.
Yeah. that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make sense.
we carried forward, we did, it's noted as carry forward, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it was documented as an expense, not as a revenue. The
She said,
carry forward should be a revenue.
she said it's a budget adjustment in the account that you're gonna use the money from.
So was it, did she want you to put it in the budget column or the expense?
I did a budget adjustment to that account. So
Last year's
when you look
account.
at that, no, it's this year's account. I did a budget, so if I go look at the recreation, there's the budget, there's the amount that we appropriated.
Right.
Then there's a budget adjustment down here to give you the amount of money you can spend in that account.
Right, so it's not listed as an expense then.
No, it's a budget adjustment.
It's not under the actuals.
No.
Okay,
No, it's
all
under the-
right, then-
It's like the amount, this is instead of, if you carried forward 1,000, but you budgeted 500, then you have 1,500 in that budget to use.
Right.
right, okay, so it's not an budget as, it's not listed as an expense.
No, that's why it's under the town meeting appropriated
Yeah,
column.
okay. Again, I didn't print off those sheets. I thought I did,
Yeah.
so. I'll take care of that for tomorrow.
You need me to send you something, let me know, John.
Yeah,
Okay, so back to this, I lost my line.
Okay.
I'm confused. All right, the recreation reserve is gonna be the 5,000 plus the 8, whatever it is, 8,225.
Yes,
Okay,
and
but,
just remind me that comes out surplus,
okay.
undesignated.
yeah, but we're gonna use that probably this spring.
That's why if it's in your budget, it's in
Oh,
your account that is budgeted, you can just use that because it's
Yeah.
in that contract
Yeah, you
services
probably don't
account.
want to put it in that other one then. Because
Yeah.
we're using it for that.
Hopefully, if we can get the damn, you know, paving guy there and we're gonna use that this spring and then we gotta get the coating down. That hopefully will all happen before July 1st.
Okay, okay, then don't put it in
Okay.
Yeah,
into the reserve.
Just
and if
put
it
the five-
doesn't, we'll have to carry it over. Just have to remember, carry it over.
Yeah,
Okay,
Because if you
okay,
look at the town meeting column, it says we have $9,575
available to spend,
available to spend.
right?
Yeah.
And of that, 9,575, 8,225 is the amount that she had me do a
Carry
budget.
forward.
and we,
Okay.
and we have, and we have
All right.
15 in the reserve.
Yeah,
Yes, I think that's,
That's right.
yeah, 15,235, yep.
Okay, that should be, if we can get volunteers to help with the fence and the coating, that should be enough. More than enough. Okay. Hannah, you getting all this?
I don't see spirals in our eyes. You like cartoons?
Okay. We've gone through today's list. Is there anything else? And we meet the same time tomorrow.
I do have that one, but we don't meet Wednesday.
We don't meet Wednesday.
Okay.
So after tomorrow's meeting, we have the newish numbers on, and we have the column filled to select board, I'll print out new budgets.
Okay, good.
And you're gonna talk with Kevin tomorrow.
And I'm gonna talk to Kevin tomorrow.
Yeah. And I'm gonna print out my whole budget, all my budget sheets. How many sheets were there?
That's crazy.
'They're numbered.
51,
Oh, I thought, I could have sworn I printed them all out.
Did you do front and back?
No,
Oh.
well, I did in the sense that I'm not missing each I'm not missing, each page, but they came out on one side,
You ran out of paper.
maybe.
Nothing.
I just went up and grabbed it. And the only ones I looked over for today beforehand were the fire and the ambulance. So I didn't realize that I was missing the other ones. Oh, well.
Anybody else got anything? And everybody has heard that oh, I do have one more thing. But I don't know, we can wait on it, but the APAC, our member to the APAC, 80 Odowski Shaw, she's up to be reappointed, so we just need to send a letter to the airport manager confirming that we still want her to be our rep. But we can wait till our next meeting with that time.
February one,
Yeah, so we,
so I put it on the agenda.
yeah,
Well, don't we have a meeting? There was a little bit of a question about this in my mind. We have a meeting, is it next Monday?
We have one on Monday.
Monday's a holiday.
No, we have one on a Monday.
but yeah.
Or next Monday.
No, I don't think we have one till,
The Monday one is March 18th.
right,
Yeah, I have
that's,
March 12th and March 18th.
yes,
Yeah.
March 12th and March 18th.
So we,
So
okay, yeah. Yeah, all right. So we don't have another meeting this month other than the budget meeting tomorrow.
correct,
Yeah.
so add it to tomorrow's budget, to tomorrow's agenda.
We can just do it as an adjustment, right?
Yes, just do it as adjustment, good. And just so you know, I am missing the APAC meeting that started at 5. Which was gonna be really interesting because you haven't read the latest Village Suit. Jeremy Shaw has resigned
Yeah, I saw
as
that.
the airport manager.
I saw that.
And he's gonna continue serving until the end of March. So a month and a half from now, if they haven't replaced him, there will be no airport manager, no county administrator, no HR person. And a really shaky E911. So now is not a good time to be in the county,
Wow.
so to speak.
No, did they find an interim administrator?
They have approached somebody, but it hasn't been firmed out yet.
Yeah. Okay. That it?
That's all I got. So
Oh,
That's all I got.
without objection, we are adjourned.
Okay, see you later, guys.
See ya.
See you tomorrow. I think we can listen to stuff here tonight, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's coming in. That's the ones I worry about.
I was gonna transfer the clean stuff into this, or are you printing new ones?
I will
So
print,
don't need
I will
one?
print the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah, after tomorrow's night, I'll number the finalize and I'll.
So we're no longer recording?